Hi, I'm Jenny. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for spending some time with me today. So today I am starting a new journal. Like I need another project. I know I've only got like 5 going at once, but whatever, the hazards of having, too much time to think about things, I guess. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's the thinking. But anyway, we talked about that in the last video. So I want to show you, I have constructed a basic journal. Because of the way the papers were, I decided to go ahead and use like a comb binding. I have like a little comb binding machine, and then I just bought some of these the wire ones that you can put through, and I just made sure they were the same size, and I just kind of crimped it with my fingers. So let me show you. This is a pack of ephemera that my husband gave me to play with. And it's basically reproductions of first night Gilbert and Sullivan programs. And so there's like an explanation of what it is, and then there's each of the programs, and they're little bits and pieces of ephemera that go with it. But you can see I have just put the programs in, and I took them apart but left them together in here so you can still see the program. So the whole thing is just those programs put together, and then a couple of places I put a little piece of music paper just to kind of separate it out a little bit and make 3 different sections. So this is what I'm working with. So I would like to stick with a vintage theme. Now, I don't usually do all like full vintage. I do bits and pieces of vintage stuff, but I like a lot of color generally. And I feel like a lot of the vintage is not maybe as colorful, but I think we can put some pops of color in here. And definitely some of these are very colorful. So I think, we can definitely work with that. This one got cut the other way, so I just put a piece of washi tape on it, and I may go back with a different washi tape because I just kind of picked like the first one up that I had and put it on there, and I probably should have used one that was very vintage looking. But we'll work with what we have. So, and I'm not saying that vintage can't be colorful, but it tends to be those browns and aged kind of look. And so these are reproductions, so they are printed in the colors that you might have seen then. So you can see like this one's very colorful. And some of the paper is, definitely on colors. So that's a lot of fun. And then when we get to this vintage one, I think this one's really interesting. It's Pirates of Penzance, and it was on a kind of a foil sheet. So this was like the program on a foil sheet, which I thought was really interesting because you don't really see that. And then we're to the back. And then the backs, of course, have lots of ads for places to eat and costuming and all kinds of things. So this is what we're working with. So I would like to do something vintage. I had thought originally that I was going to do the whole thing in sort of a music theme. And I do want to use some music in here, some music theme items. But honestly, I just don't have very many. So I did find, I was at Dollar Tree the other day, and I found some kind of vintagey looking music stickers. They're a little puffy, so that's not my favorite thing with the way they're kind of puffy, but I'm sure we can kind of scatter them through and do that. I also found some other vintagey looking ones with here's some balloons, and Paris looking, and then some kind of luggage and corners and things. So I've pulled that out, and I pulled some other items too. The other thing I want to try to do, besides doing sort of a vintage feel to it, and I think if we just stick to vintage and maybe preserve pieces of the, so like we can see the cover of this. Maybe I won't put anything over that, but I might cover the inside of it or the back of it or something. But I might leave bits and pieces of that so that we can see, some of what it is. Maybe when we get to this one, we'll leave the front, but do the back because it's blank. So I'm not really sure. I just want to have some fun with this. The other thing I want to do is recently I put together, well, I don't know, maybe it wasn't that recently. It's hard to know. I think I'm losing track of time. It's, you know, the days are long, but the years are short kind of syndrome. So anyway, I put together a list of journal ideas for myself so that when I'm stuck, I'm not sure what to do. You know, what should I do next? What could I do that's different? I made a couple of these cards and I left room on the back to add some things. So I'd like to kind of work my way through the ideas on the card. So somewhere in here, you know, a couple of places, I will have a collage and we'll have a couple belly bands and a couple pockets and some tuck spots. Journaling spots I think are kind of a given, and I think we'll put musical theater quotes in for the journaling rather than leaving spots to actually write in. I think we're just going to decorate and put quotes in. So windows and envelope tags, specimen cards, you know, layered pockets. So all of these things I might include. I don't know that we need a writing board because I'm not going to leave writing space. But there might be a little mini notebook somewhere with, you know, a little, you know, flip through of quotes or something in it. So anyway, these are all ideas that I had of using things to create junk journal pages. And then, of course, any of the above you can repeat with fabric instead of paper. And then I added a couple of things, packing tape transfers, charms and dangles, a shaker page or tag, and a deconstructed fold-out envelope, which I watched Natasha from Treasure Books do recently, and it was super cool. So I think I'm going to have to include one of those somewhere, maybe on the inside cover or the back cover with something that you can open and fold out, something like that. So my goal is to kind of work my way through these and work my way through the book. And I don't know that we'll do everything in order. You know, we might skip around, but I do want to start with a collage because that seems like a good place to start. And so I think we're going to just use this first page here and kind of do a vintage feel collage. Now to that end, I have pulled in some different things we can use. So I have a stack of vintage looking, if not actual vintage papers. Some of these are actually vintage papers and some of these just look vintage. And so like this one is a reproduction of some ads. And then there's some vintage music, and then there's just some you know, packaging paper. This is actually part, it says the pink elephant. This is actually part of a player piano music roll. So there are some vintage book pages and then things that are just aged down to look vintage. So you can see there's kind of just an assortment of papers there. Got a little bit of wallpaper. Here's a vintage looking piece of paper. Here's a little bit of rice paper. So just an assortment of that. The other thing I have is I pulled out some paper doilies that I had done some different effects to. This one's plain, but this one, of course, has a little bit of ink and stuff on it, stenciling, dye, just colors, different colors, watercolor. I have a few vintage images here. I pulled out some watches because I think that's fun, especially since this is kind of a theater or something. I think, you know, time for the theater. Somebody looks like they're going to the theater. Here's a type wheel image. I pulled out some people. So I really like the idea of using one of these women. I'm not really sure, but they look to me like they're like on their way, you know, to a night at the opera. But here are some smaller images as well. So we might save some of these for another page or to tuck into some pockets along the way. Let's see, what else did I bring? I pulled out a few flowers and butterflies that are vintage prints. I think this is one of the few Tim Holtz things I have. These came from some Tim Holtz packs that I got for Christmas. Here's some stamps that a few of them are real stamps, and then some of them are stamps that I cut out from a magazine, and then a couple of them are stamps that I made with images and paper. And then I have some fabric. There's some like tatty edges. Here's a couple things of lace. And then here's some fabric pieces that I've had for quite a while. This fabric frays quite a bit, so I had actually done an iron-on backing. So you can see like this one still has the paper on it. The paper's come off of this, but that keeps it from fraying. So you could actually iron it to the page, or you can glue it down, but it does stop the fraying a good bit. So here's some doily, here's some pink lace remnant, and then here's just a piece of fabric that was gathered, and I just cut the edge off the hem. And then I have some washi tape, an assortment of just kind of vintage looking washi tapes, and some stickers that I made out of labels that I just painted and stenciled and stamped and all kinds of stuff on. Okay, so I pulled out a few things like that, like just a few of the stamps and the flowers and stuff, because I get really bogged down in how many things I have to choose from, and this is still probably way, way too much. So I may, when I'm done with this page, I may kind of gather these together and set them aside to use on other pages throughout the book, because there's a lot of stuff here. And certainly way more than we'll need for one little collage on this page. So I might kind of use this as my collage basis for other things in the book, which will also kind of give it a cohesive feel if I use some of the same materials scattered throughout. Whenever I need a piece of backing, or we're going to make a belly band or something, maybe we'll pull out a piece of this. And if I don't have a big enough piece of the book page to make a belly band from, then I have other book pages, but I'll know that this is kind of what I started with. So certainly it can be overwhelming to have lots of materials, and I do have lots of materials because I think I'm probably a craft hoarder at heart, but alas. All right, so enough talk. Let's kind of get started. So I'm not really sure. I'm just going to kind of, grab some pieces and start. I think maybe we'll choose a focal point to start with. And I really like this one. Although I like that she's looking kind of the other way. But she kind of looks like I think these are actually two together. And we could use both of them maybe. On their way to the theater. Right? On their way to the theater. So those two went together on a book page. So let's see, do we use both, or do we just use the one? Maybe we'll just use the one, and we'll use her. Maybe we could put her over here on this page, looking back. We'll see. So the inside cover, I'm not really sure, like I thought about doing that fold out envelope, but maybe we'll do that in the back. Maybe we'll kind of take our collage over to here. So I definitely think these two women might be a lot of fun, and we could kind of put them together. So we could do that. All right, so let's see. Let's build some background, and then we'll figure out whether we want one or both of those women here. This one is the inside cover, and it's pretty much just blank. So maybe we want to just start with covering that. That might be a good idea. So we have a background to work with, because over here we have text already to work with. Let's just do that. Let's just start gluing down. I don't want to overthink this too much. Ooh, is that side better? I think that side maybe is better. I don't want to overthink this too much. I just want to put something in the background so that it's not just plain back there. So was thinking too that I might, I'm going to need to probably create some ephemera to tuck into belly bands and tuck spots and things like that. So, which, you know, that's on my list with the journal cards and things. Kind of got that wrinkly, but that's okay. I don't mind. I don't mind if it's a little wrinkly. Wrinkly's good. Gives it a little oomph there. I don't think that needs to see Abraham Lincoln across the bottom. Reproductions of documents make really nice collage fodder. So, you know, because it's got the old writing. Although that paper can be a little hard to adhere sometimes. It doesn't always want to stick down quite, so need a little more glue here. Hope you guys are having a good day. Hope you're doing something fun. Hope you're enjoying your summer. Summer here is kind of a stay indoors most of the time. We're finally hitting 110-degree heat this week, so we are definitely not out in the heat of the day. And it's funny, people say, oh, you know, couldn't stand the heat, but a lot of places, other people are really anti the cold. So I think, you know, I think it's just different. It's in many places you don't go out in the winter time, you know, and spend too much time outside in the winter, you know, when it's, you know, 10 below. So in the summer here, you know, it's kind of the same thing. We don't spend a lot of time outside in the heat of the day. So we're just out in different times of the day. So here, you know, in the Valley of the Sun, we let's do this side. We do things in the evening or early in the morning. You can certainly go outside. You just don't want to do it necessarily in the heat of the day because it's a little dangerous. And you definitely want to wear your sunscreen. So that's certainly a given around here. I mean, I think that's a given anywhere, but here especially, seems like. So we like to go out in the yard in the evening, you know, 5, 6 o'clock. It's still hot, but the sun isn't beating on you, so it's not too bad. And you can hang out in the pool and, you know, cool off, have a cocktail, enjoy a glass of rosé or something like that, and still enjoy the summer without, you know, being in the worst of it, I think. Okay. There, so that seems pretty quick. Okay, so we have a little bit of a background, and so now maybe we can build some lace and some interesting things. So we're gonna have her, and I know she's kind of cut around here, so we're gonna probably want to cover the hem of her dress with something down here, and we'll have her looking back. So we kind of have this, I want this to be a little more interesting too, something. So let's put a few things here. We don't have to cover all of it, just some pieces so that it's not, you know, just the plain one page. Let's get some some stuff going in the background here just so it's more interesting. Because she's going to be kind of so over some of that, I think. And we'll put some lace down stuff. That one's almost matching what's already there, so that's not really going to give us any interest. But this might. We could do something there. So, just get a few things going here, interest-wise. Then we'll put in some lace and some flowers and things like that to make it a little more interesting. Let's put some of this in here too, maybe. I have not done a full vintage sort of journal before. Most of mine have ended up being, they end up being really colorful. I like vintage papers and stuff, but then I tend to put things with them that are not so vintage. So, and I put lots of bling and stuff like that. So I am going to try to minimize I know, minimize the bling. How is that going to work, right? Maybe just a little bit more in the middle here. So we'll see. I haven't done one like this, so I'm kind of looking forward to doing something different. I didn't bring my trash bucket. Oh. Just have to toss it up there for now. I do think I'm gonna want to antique some things. I have some paper to age down. I have some definitely vintage music paper that doesn't need aging, but it might be fun to stamp on it or dye it some different colors, or maybe stencil something on it in watercolor, something like that. So I might spend some time doing some of that. That might be the next thing I do, so I have some of that to play with. So let's see. Oh, see, that's better, I think. All right, and then we can put her over here. Yeah. Okay. So let's tuck some images and stuff in around them to see what we can find. I'm thinking maybe a clock. We could definitely do, a couple of clocks over here. That might be nice. A couple of watches. And I dropped a couple, so let's see here. Okay. Maybe we could do, we can cover the edge of that dress that's kind of funky there with something like that. So I like that. And then, let's see, I'm thinking something colorful. Since we have some yellow over here, I think this might definitely need some flowers. Let's see. Might could use some lace and stuff. What else should we have? Just something pretty to look at, right? This one's a little bit different. Oh, this could be fun. We could have some mushrooms down here. I like that. That's more fun. That's fun. So, and maybe a couple of butterflies. Could have her looking at the butterflies and she's looking back maybe. Maybe we'll have butterflies and mushrooms over here. And we can put flowers on this side. Maybe that would be a good, oh, here's another little mushroom I pulled out. We could add him to it. I don't know. Kind of growing along the bottom of her dress there. Why not? So just because, you know, they're kind of staid and sober looking doesn't mean we can't make them a little more silly. So I like that so far. Let's see, do we have some lace maybe we can put behind some of that? Maybe we need to put the lace over here. This is a little busy, but that's okay. I mean, I don't mind it busy. How is that? Move that over a little. That's kind of nice with the lace behind it. I like that. So I'm liking that. I'm getting some glare here. What about this one? We could always cut it down a little. Oh my gosh, where are my scissors? This is bad. I showed up without scissors, dropping stuff. Seems kind of like a large piece. Let's maybe cut it down a little bit here. Do we want that down here maybe with the, not so sure. I don't know, we have this up here. I feel like maybe we want it maybe behind her just a little bit. Let's see. Maybe one of the maybe one of the butterflies on it. A little more contrast. Let's see, did I bring another butterfly? Do I have? I feel like I might want another butterfly. Oh, I've got a bee. It just doesn't really look like it goes, does it? I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. I think that might be cute there. I'm not sure about the lace. I think I like it, but I'm just not sure about it. But we might definitely put that one down there. This one here. I don't know. I feel like we maybe want some lace, but maybe we want it just over here just for interest. Got another piece. Is this piece better? Maybe this piece is better. Oh, I like that better. Like it's just coming off of her dress. I like that. That's better. Got some trim. We could run down the edge, maybe as if it's a piece of curtain, you know, or velvet. You know, it's not velvet, but if it could like look sort of like a curtain. Maybe some of that. I like that. Let's see what else we have. We have washi tape. Is there any, do we want to put some little bits of washi tape on the background before we start gluing things down? Maybe some in here. Or should we start gluing and then adding the little bits? Maybe we'll glue, let's go ahead and glue these down. Let's get this stuff down. And then maybe we'll add some little pieces of washi tape like around some of this, or well, maybe we'll put some of that first. See, now I'm second guessing. Does that need a little washi tape there? Maybe before we put the butterflies down. See, I'm trying not to overthink it, guys, but you know, it's really hard. It's really hard to not overthink it, isn't it? Like, because you're just so, like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm always a little worried that it's, you know, I'm not picking the best thing. Is that the best thing? Well, is there really a best thing? You know, who knows? Who knows if there's really a best? There may or may not be a best thing. I think just a couple pieces of washi tape here might be good. Just to pull some of that down. Maybe one more little piece over here, and then we should maybe put a couple things over here to kind of echo it. This one maybe. And this is why I have to limit myself in what I bring, because otherwise I just bring too much stuff. Okay, I like that. Let's maybe put a little washi tape over here. We could put some down. Here's some like typewriter letters. Yeah, like that. And then something that's got a bit of a, like a ruler to it. Except I've lost the edge of it. Here we go. There we go. Maybe just a little piece of that across the bottom here. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right, let's start with putting down our lady here. She's just cut out from a book. I think it was a book on fashion and other centuries. It was called The Look of the Century. I'm not sure if that's the book it came from or not, but it seems like it might have. Oops, got a little too much glue there, and my towel is gone. What have I done with my towel? I'm just not really ready to go here today, am I? Let me grab a towel. Just because it makes it easier to rub stuff down with the glue and not get it all over everything else, because, you know, I always have glue all over my fingers. I always have very sticky fingers. Let's see, did we have that one up top or that one? We had them like that. But maybe not. Does it matter? Not really. It really doesn't matter. They're both the same basic thing, so really doesn't matter. There we go. So I was saying I really haven't done a vintagey kind of journal, and I know that's sort of, you know, the thing is the vintage journals. I think I'm going to use my hot glue gun for this. I'm just going to kind of see if I can get, my thought is I'll get this kind of stuck in place, and then we'll glue the other things on top of it, which will hold it, definitely hold it down better. Like, yeah. I know lots of other people do the whole vintage look religiously like this, you know, and I do like the kind of the ratty-tatty look of things. but I don't know that I always go for vintage. So I think this will be a little bit of a challenge for me to not put in lots of really bright, you know, I tend to use magazine images. And so earlier this year, I had decided I was going to use more things that look like drawings and fewer things that look like photographs. So, you know, I think that, now we'll have to put a little more glue under here and get that. I think that's kind of the direction I'm going. So that has been definitely more challenging because I like magazine images and photographs. Ouch. So I think my glue book has been a good place to do some of that so that I still get to do that, but not quite so. It's like it's not just in my book, my books. There we go. Okay, so I think that's good. So let's run a bit of a line here. I'll put some fabric down. This is a little tatty, but I like it. And I like the green. I think it adds a nice color. Picks up the green here and some of the kind of greenish over here. So it's kind of moving across the page here. Although this might be sticking up just a little too much. I should have cut that off before I glued it down, but alas, 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 I did not. So there we go. Okay, so I think that's good. Just trim off the end here. Apparently the scissors I got were very dull. When I grabbed a pair, I grabbed an old pair. Get that down. Okay. My washi tape seems to be peeling here. I think I'm going to probably have to put a little glue under it. All right, in the meantime, I have managed to move this all around, but that's okay because we know she goes there and we kind of have an idea of where everything goes here. So I think we'll be able to get it in place. Okay. Get a new page here to glue on, and we'll get her down first. I do think this is going to be fun because I like a lot of the vintage images, and I tend not to use them because I end up using bright colors and they don't always seem to go with it, although the juxtaposition sometimes of, you know, the vintage materials or images with the modern cutouts are nice. I like that kind of juxtaposition a lot of times. So here we go. Okay. Do we want a little more? What about a stamp? I was looking here. Maybe a little stamp down there. I know. Now I'm changing things, but before we put the lace and everything down, we might just put a little piece there, just to have something else of interest down there. All right, so we have. I definitely want the mushrooms here. See, that's kind of cute with the top of the mushroom there. Put that down. Growing out of the bottom of her skirt. And then I think the other one, did we have the other one there? I think so. I think so. If we didn't, that's okay. That's where we're going to put it now. Right. It's okay if that's not where it was. All right, I'm pretty sure this was here. And then I think originally I had that one up there, but I think this one might be better up there. We'll kind of have that one. Do we want it that way, like this one, or do we want it this way? I think maybe that way. And then we had this here. Right. So I definitely like this one. I'm still thinking this one might need something else behind it, just for a little more contrast. Doesn't seem like it has quite enough contrast up there. So what should we put there? We're covering up most of our music page. What if we put it on a little piece of music paper up there? Now I've got glue all over my fingers. Yeah, I think that might actually be better here. So, ooh, do I like that side better? Maybe I do, but I would like it to be not a straight edge. There we go. And again, glue on my fingers. Sounds like a song, doesn't it? Glue on my fingers. Oh, well. I would have to get my daughter to write that. I might have to get her to write a silly song about glue on your fingers. She probably could. So, as you guys know, or maybe you know, maybe you don't, my daughter is a musician. She's in Nashville, and she has put together an album that she's recorded that she's hoping to release soon. So hopefully that will get her a little recognition. It's really hard these days, you know, to get into the music business. It's hard to get in any business, I think, but definitely the music business is definitely tough. Just like any, you know, show business of any kind, right? Acting, all of that. It's really hard to get a break. You have to have a platform, and you have to have so many people following you, and you already have to have an audience. Nobody wants to take a chance on you until you have had come up with your own audience. You know, it's not like it used to be where you would get a talent scout would come and find you because they think they could generate an audience for you. Now they want you to have your own audience before they hire you. So you have to kind of figure it out yourself first, which I guess in some ways is probably good, because then you figured it out yourself and you're probably more confident, you know what you could do. Okay, what are we thinking? We think anything else? Let's see. What else do we have? I brought a couple little tickets. Oh, maybe a ticket there. Oh, I like that. Let's slide that little ticket in there. Right. Does she need one? We could put one in her hand. Or we could put one down here. I don't know, we have one here. Oh, seems like one up there might be good. Okay, that's nice. A couple tickets there. I already put in a stamp there. Do we have any other stamps? I have a couple here. This green one's nice. Might be good down here. Now it's just a matter of like filling in small little things along the way. Right? Just interesting things to look at. There's another stamp. because it pulls in the blue from over here. But I want it right side up. Not that it has to be, but I kind of like stamps. Right side up. Okay, I've got some little washi tape. This looks a little empty. Is there anything? Do I have anything there? We could put a little green stamp there. Pull in a little more of that green from the other side. There we go. All right. Okay, I really like that. I feel like I want to put some bling on it, so that means it's probably done because I'm not gonna put some bling on. I might go back at the end and scatter a little bling throughout, just because I'm not sure I can actually make something without any bling. But since we're doing the vintage look, maybe not too much, maybe just a tiny little bit, maybe some pearls or something like that. So we'll see. I think I'm gonna try to do it without too much to start with. Maybe a little blingy washi tape or something. So I'll have to think about that. All right, so I think we're gonna leave this one here. So until next time, remember, use what you have to make your life more beautiful. Bye.